Copperbelt province brings to you The Lens, a program designed to bring insightful information on economics, mining, education, health, tourism, agriculture, environmental issues, sports, entertainment, current affairs, and many issues affecting the well-being of society.
Welcome to a special edition of The Lens. I am your host, Macha Mwemba. Youths from different institutions here in Dola on the Copperbelt have had different interviews on different topics as they amplify their voices during this year's commemoration. Let's take a look at Tisaine Zulu's interview with NOTEC students.
Greetings and welcome to The Lens. My name is Tisaine Zulu. As we celebrate the International Youth Day, whose theme is Voices Amplified and Innovation Ignited. Today in the studio, we have youth from the Northern Technical College. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Can you kindly introduce yourself?
I am Ten from Kirkland Kakumbi, a third-year student from Northern Technical College, pursuing a diploma in mechanical engineering technology.
And?
My name is Stephen Msonda. I am a student at Northern Technical College, currently pursuing diploma in electrical engineering, third year. Thank you.
All right, so gentlemen, how do you interpret the theme, this year's theme on Youth Day, 10-4?
Yeah. So interpreting the theme, which has two phrases, the number one being Voices Amplified and the second phrase being Innovation Ignited. So voices being amplified, I think this is one that calls for empowerment and community collaboration through the concern of the people that they have in their communities to make sure that the challenges and the things that they are facing in their various communities are amplified and are heard regardless of their background, regardless of their status. Going to a different phase, which is Innovation Ignited. So innovation being ignited, this is also the second part that calls for support of different innovation that goes around and innovations that young people of this country have to make sure that their ideas come to life.
Stephen, how do you interpret the theme?
Thank you very much. For me, just like my colleague has mentioned, voices being amplified and innovations ignited. My interpretation to this theme is that youths are being recognized as key drivers of change and innovations. It's about us as youths amplifying our voices as well as bringing about innovations in our communities and the country at large. Thank you.
All right. What does the Youth Day mean to you, and how do you think it can be celebrated in a meaningful way? Temple.
Yeah, so looking at the background of Youth Day and how it differs from the national calendar on other countries that celebrate Youth Day, I think our Youth Day is uniquely different and it should be celebrated with honor and dignity, and looking at the history of it that transpired here on the Copperbelt, to be precise in Quito, where blood was shedded and many youths died because they wanted to fight for freedom. They wanted to fight for the betterment of this country and for the betterment of everything that we're currently enjoying. So we had youths that had to put their lives on stake to make sure that we have the privilege of the freedom that we are enjoying. So Youth Day should be celebrated in a very meaningful manner and conducting programs that are so empowering and contributes positively to the well-being of this country.
All right, Stephen, what are your thoughts?
As for me, one thing I've come to understand and realize about the youth, as the famous saying says, that youths are the leaders of tomorrow. So you realize that youths actually play a very cardinal role in society and communities, And so hence celebrating Youth Day is very important. But coming to the question which states that how do we celebrate, how should it be celebrated? I feel it should be celebrated by engaging in activities, innovative activities such as community development activities, as well as innovation activities. So youths should be able to come up with ideas that may bring about development in our community. So we should celebrate this by engaging ourselves in different activities that brings about development. Thank you.
So what do you think are some of the examples of the same innovations?
Some of the innovations that youths can bring on board. I feel some of the innovations that youths can bring on board, one of them I can say is about, job creation. And by job creation, I mean as youths, we can bring ourselves together. And when we bring ourselves together, and thanks, by the way, to our government of the day, which brought about, if I take you back in somewhere 2022, somewhere there, they advertised saying youths should come together in groupings, form cooperatives. That was a brilliant ideas that may bring about innovation, because as youths, when you come together, you bring about any idea that can enable other youths in the community to come to work. For example, as a cooperative, you may start up something like waste collection. You are bringing about employment as well as sanity in the community. So among many others, for example, I will mention what I'm doing currently as part of development in my community. Myself and a few other youths, we came up with a cooperative idea, seeing that I am studying electrical engineering. We came up with other youths who have done already, who are among them are electricians, plumbers, and the like. So we came up with a cooperative we are calling Electrical Engineers Multipurpose Cooperative. So what we do is that as youths, we look for tenders for electrical maintenances, house wiring at domestic level. So as youths, we came up with that innovative idea that would help us, instead of waiting to be employed somewhere, but ourselves can create jobs for ourselves. So we came up with those ideas, and currently we are growing. So I feel the government should assist us because these are innovative ideas that I think youths can come up with, and it's just a matter of being empowered and providing linkages that can assist us as we go this way. Thank you.
So, as a youth, have you applied for CDF?
Well, we are planning to do that, to apply so that we can be considered, because it's just recently that we applied for ZPPA, which deals with procurement. So we are hoping that we can apply under CDF. As we apply for CDF, with the certificate that we have for procurement, the government would be able to consider us to do small tenders at community level in terms of supplying small goods, safety boots, and the small goods that we can manage at our level.
All right. Thank God, I didn't forget about you. So, what role do you think youths can play in promoting sustainable livelihoods and reducing poverty in their communities?
Yeah, so innovation, I think there's a famous saying which goes, in every challenge lies an incubation of innovation. So as youths, we can use our innovation and critical thinking initiative to look out for different opportunities, and one which my colleague mentioned, which is garbage collection. So taking you back to 2020, where we started up a movement as young people during the COVID-19 period, where we were doing plugging. A plugging is it's a UK activity where you are jogging with a trash bag and picking all the plastics. So what we used to do with those plastics, we made sure that we use them as an opportunity to make sure that as it is an innovation, we collect the garbage and then we supply them to different companies that were interested in those garbages so that they can reproduce and come up with viable products that can be used in the community. Not only that, but I've seen different youths in our community that are taking advantage of the CDF, which is the Constituency Development Funds, for them that want to start up different cooperatives like the layering of chicken at community level, so as to help their lives, not just in their community, but to bring about also employment and job creation.
All right. How can youth help to address the climate crisis and promote environmental sustainability?
Okay, so creating and promoting sustainable environment, is that right? Yes, promoting sustainable development can be promoted in different ways, of which one of it, which is right now as youths of this generation, we are blessed with access to technology. So we can utilize the use of technology by coming up and doing more research about the environment. If the weather is like this, what other development programs can we start that are compatible with this weather pattern that we're in? So for example, in rainy season, we can do a recess. So since in March or April is not a good time for you to plant maize, instead you can use your technology to do more research about different things that you can do that are compatible with that weather, not just to benefit you as an individual, but to contribute to the sustainable development of the country as a whole.
All right. Moving forward, how can youths be empowered to take an active role in shaping their communities and the country's future? Stephen.
Thank you very much. I feel one of the ways that youths can be empowered to take active roles and as well as leadership is through education, because education, it gives us knowledge as well as skill to think critically as well as make informed decisions. So that is one of the ways that the youths can be empowered, education, and we thank our government who has made education almost accessible to everyone at a community level, at a secondary level, tertiary level, mention it. So as youths, when we are empowered through education, we begin to think outside the box. We begin to develop ourselves in terms of skill, which will help us to from our various, we are coming from different backgrounds. So when we are empowered with education, as they say, education is an equalizer. So education giving us knowledge and ability to think critically, we are helped as youths to ensure that we better our lives. We better our lives by being active in terms of work, active in terms of thinking critically, bringing about innovative ideas that may bring development starting from our homes, our community, as well as the country at large. So I feel education is one of the ways that youths can be empowered. Yeah.
Tenfold. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so as they say, education and knowledge is power, so to speak. So one of the ways that we can be empowered as youths, first is to give us access to information, having access to knowledge and skills and training development, so that even as much as we are given funds, we know how best we can make sure that the funds that are given to us are utilized in a very good manner and does not go to wastage.
Can you elaborate more on what you just talked about?
Yeah, so let's give an example of myself, I want to apply for a project. Let's say I want to start up a company that will be manufacturing car components. Now, because of the knowledge that I have, I might have the passion for me to do and to make cars and other parts of the cars, but I don't have that knowledge. I might have the knowledge and the understanding about those things, but I don't have adequate knowledge about it that can prepare me to make parts that are compatible to the global standard. But if I've got access to trusted and viable learning materials and learning institution where I can go as a young person and acquire knowledge from those institutions to make sure that at the end of the day, with everything that I will be coming up with, I'm doing things with great understanding and I know how they are supposed to be done.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, you are watching The Lens in Ndola from the Copperbelt studios. Moving forward, what are some ways in which youths can use their energy, creativity, and idealism to drive positive change in their communities? Stephen.
Okay, thank you. One of the ways that youths can channel their energy to bring about creativity and development in their communities is by the use of the internet itself, the use of social media. You see, social media is a very powerful tool that as youths we can use by, first of all, bringing about awareness to communities, can bring about awareness concerning education, educating our fellow youths that may not have a privilege to attain whatever that we have at the moment. So we can also bring about campaign, educational campaign, healthy campaigns. We may use those tools. We may use social media as a platform to bring about positive change in our community, educating our friends, conducting healthy campaigns, conducting climate change campaigns. Yeah, through those lines, I think youths can channel their energy in those ways.
How can the youths prevent the use of harmful social media?
I feel recently, or a few years, I may say, we have had youths that have abused social media and have used it in a harmful way by promoting hate speech. They speak ill concerning others, and so I feel as a youth, one of the ways that we can prevent using social media as a tool to harm others, I feel, is by there should be a platform that I think, or a campaign engaged by the government, private sectors, non-governmental organizations, that they should create, maybe call it a campaign strategy to educate youths on how they can use social media to better their lives, unlike bringing about harm to others. By this I mean, when non-governmental organizations come in, they may be conducting a campaign on how to. I think should be not too long ago they brought about an act which has not yet been amended, where the social media can be used to earn money and by content creating. So I feel if those are being brought on scene, and then of course they can bring that on scene, but if they are not advertised to say there is this way that a youth can use social media to earn a living, it will be of no effect. So I feel government should put in effort and cooperate, partner with non-governmental organization to conduct campaigns educating youths on how social media can be used to help themselves and help others. Could be through content creation that will bring about awareness in terms of healthy awareness in terms of skills development that are going on in different skills and activities. Yeah, I think that should be one of the ways we can.
All right, so what are your concluding remarks?
My closing remarks is just that we should create a society of ideas for development in our communities and at the country level. So we should be able to bring about ideas that will bring development. We should be able to bring about ideas that will put aside the use of social media to harm others. We should be able to bring about ideas that will help us combat climate. You know, we are having a global climate change which is affecting globally and especially bringing it to Zambia. So if we have youths that rise up and say we have this idea to combat or fight the climate change that may disturb our future, that may disturb our living in the few years to come. So I feel youths should rise up and bring about ideas in their society that will bring betterment of their country.
All right, and Tenform, what are your concluding remarks?
Yeah, so my concluding remarks is that as youths, as young people, we are very much energetic, we're very much creative, and we've got access to technology. So let us not just be complainants of the things that needs to be done in our country and in our community. Instead, let us become the change that we want to see, because change starts with me and it starts with you. So take that step, unravel that innovation that you have, and make sure that you become the change that you want to see in your community.
All right, well, you have it, viewers. This has been The Lens, and I have been your host, Tisaine Zulu. Do make sure to catch us next time on another edition of the show.
Hope you have enjoyed and learned something from the interview. Let's take a look at another interview with Precious Kaini.
Welcome to The Lens, and I'm your host, Precious Kaini. As we celebrate the International Youth Day themes, Voices Amplified and Innovation Ignited. Today in the studio, we are joined by youths from NOTEC and Rockview University. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can you kindly introduce yourselves?
My name is Kelvin Monya, a student at Rockview University, pursuing bachelor's degree in law. I'm a third year law student, and I'm also the president.
My name is Chawasanga Rodney from Northern Technical College, pursuing a diploma in heavy equipment engineering. Not only that, I'm also the Chela Hostels coordinator.
Welcome. As we kickstart the program, Mr. Kelvin, how do you interpret this year's theme?
Well, actually the theme, generally I would say, the theme is there to amplify the voices of the voiceless. As the motto of the student union, we say we are the voice of the voiceless. So we are actually promoting, using the theme, or I would say in line with the theme, we're promoting to say we are there to amplify the voices of the voices, no matter the races, no matter the skin, no matter the tribes where we're coming from.
All right. Mr. Chabasanga, how do you interpret this year's theme?
In addition to what the president has said, Voices Amplified is simply giving an opportunity to individuals from different experiences and backgrounds, having their voices heard and making a meaningful impact.
All right. So, Mr. Muinya, what does Youth Day mean to you, and how do you think it can be celebrated in a meaningful way?
Well, I think you can also attest to this, whereby we all know that this day, it brings about us youths collaborating. It also a recognition from the country at large that we are there, existing in short, I would say. We as youths were there. And moreover, some of the youths are involved in the decisions that are made by the government. So this day actually amplifies, just like the theme states. It usually amplifies now. It's a recognition that we are there also to collaborate in the works of the government. Also, as youths, we're also there were recognized by the states, in short.
Okay, so how do you think it can be celebrated in a meaningful way?
It can be celebrated if each and every youth from different parts of Ndola, I would say, would come together. We use maybe, let me say, a march past. Yes, that will promote us togetherness.
All right. Mr. Shabasanga, what does Youth Day mean to you and how can it be celebrated in a meaningful way?
So, Youth Day to me simply means a day for arts youth to be like celebrated, you know. So it's not really easy being a youth, but we do go through a lot of challenges. So Youth Day is simply a day that has been given to us in order for us to be recognized. So one way in which we can celebrate Youth Day is us youths coming together, having our voices heard, and then being given a channel where we can echo our voices. And then we wait for the government to give us an opportunity and then implement our innovation and or rather innovative ideas that we present to them.
Okay. What are some of the biggest challenges do you think that the youths are facing, and how can we work together to address them? Mr. Mwenya.
Actually, on that, I would say we are facing a lot of challenges. But I would love to highlight on two challenges that as youths we are facing, which is, you may find that were job opportunities. Then the other challenge is that we as youths were lacking, like, let me say, recreational facilities.
Okay. So how can we work together to address these challenges?
As I mentioned earlier, I stated a statement saying that if us youths were supported by the government, we might also create job opportunities for our fellow youths.
Mr. Shabasanga, what are some of the biggest challenges that the youths are facing, and how can we work together to address the challenges?
So on that one, I'll answer it on a personal view. As a youth in my community, one of the challenges that we are facing as youths is simply unemployment, as we put it. Yes, so unemployment is a big challenge that we youths are facing in the community, and that's something that we don't get to understand. You know, in as much as we are having this potential and positive energy, we as youths just need to come together and then promote innovativeness. You know, in innovativeness, this is where we can, you know, bring up new ideas and then come together as youths. We can create groups. When we create those groups, we can come up with a lot of ideas that the government can implement, provided the ideas are meaningful.
So you've mentioned unemployment. Have you heard, I'm sure you've heard about CDF, right?
Yes.
Have you tried proposing innovative ideas?
On my personal part, I haven't yet tried. On the part of CDF, I have not really applied for it, or maybe trying to present a project to CDF that they can empower, because I'm still in school. I'm trying to figure out the skills that I'm acquiring from Northern Technical College and how I'm going to make use of them. You know, the education that I'm receiving from the institution is a skill. So be it in a situation whereby I complete school and then I don't get employment, I might be able to apply for CDF, they empower my ideas and then create a job from that.
How can youths be empowered to take an active role in shaping their communities and the country's future?
Youths need to be given a platform where they can echo their voices and be heard. When they're given this platform, youths can make a significant impact to the community and the country at large. So when we're given this opportunity, we can echo out our voices and we can be able to influence others through the platform that we've been given.
All right. Mr. Mwenya, how can youth be empowered to take an active role in their communities and the country's future?
Well, that question, I would say we can be empowered if the government had to bring in more recreational facilities in each town where it will be actually for free. So actually on my part, I would say I'm actually working on what I call Big Mind Boys. Big Mind Boys, this is more like a group of only boys. We're coming together as youths, teaching each other on the morals, on how we're supposed to keep ourselves, on how we're supposed to go about certain things. And in that group, we're also, when someone, let me say, maybe on my parts, maybe I've got a job opportunity somewhere, I would post in there who's having these qualifications. Yes.
So how's the big boys, what? The big boys...
Big Mind Boys.
Big Mind Boys, how's it going? Is it really helping the youth?
It's actually, I would say it's helping. We're also inviting different peer educators, even motivational speakers, to just have a few and talk to us like how we're supposed to keep ourselves when we become men. Yes.
That sounds interesting.
Yes.
Mr. Chavasanga, what role do you think education plays in empowering youths, and how can we improve access to quality education for all?
So when we basically talk about education, it's not only about books, but education itself just adds a certain component into a human being that they can use in order to, get hold of their livelihood. So when you talk about education, for example, let me give a practical example of myself. Quite right, yes, I'm at the Northern Technical College. I'm pursuing a diploma. But there are other things that the education is going to put in me that I'm going to use in order to reflect upon life. It's not only about the books that I'm going to, get from the institution or maybe the paper itself, but there are certain things that it's going to put in me that I'm going to use into the real life situations. Yes. So the way they're going to improve the education sector is, in as much as government is opening these minds, I think they should also take in interest into empowering these institutions with adequate materials and then also information in order for them and their learners to get the meaningful impact of education.
All right. Tamwenya, what are some of the ways in which youths can use their energy, creativity, and idealism to drive positive change in their communities?
I think one is that there is CDF. CDF, youths can apply for these short courses: carpentry, plumbing, and also there is automotive mechanics. There is also heavy duty operators.
So ways in which the youths can use their energy to make a meaningful impact in their communities is simply putting their innovative ideas into action, and then this also calls for the government for recognition. Let me give you a practical example. I come up with an idea and then it doesn't get recognition from the government, meaning my idea is going to die, and then my fellow youths in the community are not going to look up to me and be like, okay, this guy did that and then his ideas just dropped. But if I do something and then the government come to me and then they recognize me to say, okay, Rodney did this and that, is going to motivate my fellow youths in the community to also, work extra hard like me and then try to build things that are going to, put them at that spot. Like, when you come up with something, it's going to enable you to employ others. Also, entrepreneurship comes in. So it calls for the government to give us recognition as youths when we do something that's really meaningful into the community.
Chavasanga, how can we create more opportunities for youths to engage in decision-making processes and leadership roles?
So on that one, we as youths need to be given a platform where we can be able to echo out our voices. So to the members of parliament, they need to, conduct regular meetings with us, not maybe working things on assumption or be assuming, because the challenges that some youths were facing back then is kind of different to what we are facing as at now. So they need to get to us because we are the ones who are on the ground as youths. We are the ones who are experiencing things. So when they give us that opportunity whereby we talk to them face to face, we echo out our challenges that we are facing in the society, and then they present them to the government. I think that one is going to help us, in terms of maybe the solutions that are going to provide. They are going to tally according to the challenges that we are facing, and then the opportunities are also going to be in line according to the challenges we are facing as youths.
What does it mean to be a responsible and active citizen, and how can we as youths embody these values in our daily lives?
What we do in that society is, it's not everything that we can really count on the governments to do, but there are certain tasks that we as youths can do. So there are certain communities that are having these bridges that are broken down. So we as the society maybe will come up with funds, we just maybe try to fix the bridge. So in such a way, I think it's putting us in a position where we can be called responsible youths. Yes.
Okay. So, Mr. Chavasanga, as we conclude, I would like to get your final remarks on the message you'd like to convey to other youths on this Youth Day and how we can work together to build a brighter future for all.
So my message to my fellow youths is simply, let us all be united, regardless from the places we are coming from, be it Kaonde, Bemba, North Tech, Rockview, let us all be united and let us be the change that we'd love to see in the world.
Right, Mr. Mwenya.
So firstly, I think let's be responsible even on the same youth day. Let's drink responsibly. Let's try to stay away from drug abuse. Let's also try to work hand in hand with each other because we need each other no matter what. Mostly, it does not matter where we come from, me being the Rockview president, the Nortec, wherever, Zamtel, we're all youths. So let's try to put Zambia where we want Zambia to be. Let's try to be responsible. Responsibility starts with me. The change that we need starts with me, and also it starts with you. The mindset, let's just try by all means to change the mindset and think in line with what the government wants. Even the parents wants us at large, because I might say the government, the parents want something else. So let's try by all means to be in line with what our parents has taught us, even the government. Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, it was a pleasure having you here. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Here is our last interview with the Nortec president. We have Sheolin Mutinta to carry us through the interview.
Welcome to The Lens. I'm your host, Sheolin Mutinta. As we continue celebrating International Youth Day under the theme, Voices Amplified, Innovation Ignited, I'm joined in the studio by Northern Technical President. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you.
May you kindly tell us your name?
Okay, my name is Aki Marambo, the Student Union President at Northern Technical College, and also the Vice President for National Affairs, Zambia Association of Colleges.
Okay, looking at the theme that we have, Voices Amplified, do you think youth's voices are being amplified out there?
Okay, so I think my thinking is youth's voices are amplified, but again, it's dependent on us as youths. So us as youths who have been reluctant in voicing out or participating in government, in decision making or in community development.
And how do you feel like youths should take part in amplifying their voices?
Okay, so youths at this moment, they need to take it upon themselves to make sure that their voices are heard. These days we have a number of platforms of social media, a number of platforms where youths can express their views, where youths their voices can be heard. Yes.
Okay, so like what kind of platform can they use to just express themselves so that their voices are heard out there?
So me being here at Zani Studios, it's a platform that is helping me to amplify my voice.
Okay, we also look at you, the Zambia Association of Colleges. How have you been helping youths out there to be expressing themselves?
Okay, so as Zambia Association of Colleges Student Union, we have organized a number of conferences in the country. Okay, so on the 6th March to 8th March, we'll be having Zambia National Student and Youth Conference in Lusaka at Mulungushi International Conference.
Okay. And so what platforms are you using to let others know that you're having such kind of platforms so that they can express themselves?
So we have a number of platforms. Sometimes us as the Zambia Association of Colleges, we visit schools. We visit schools physically there so that we can address the students, explain the importance of attending such conferences.
And how has been the outcome from the same conferences that you've been attending?
Last year we had over 2,000 students attending a conference in Lusaka. So the response has been overwhelming, and we are looking forward to having something bigger this year.
Okay, and on the same theme for the youths, we also have the part that looks at innovation ignited. How do you feel, what could be some of the measures that innovations can be ignited?
I think on that part, when we talk about innovation, I feel sad at a certain point because we have seen a number of youths coming up with good innovations that end up nothing, that end up going nowhere. So I've seen, and I think I would like to appeal to the government of Zambia to look into this. So I've seen a number of youths coming up with brilliant ideas, okay? And we'll see some of the government officials coming out saying we help, to just end there on TV, on paper, and they don't help.
Okay, so Do you feel like youths, they're really doing their best, but the only thing which they need is support, or maybe even the platform that they use is what is making them, their innovations not to be known out there?
Okay, so I can say youths are doing their best, and at the same time they're not doing their best. Okay. So, and I know the most important thing is funding. The most important thing is funding. When you have a project, you need funding. Okay, the ideas alone cannot do anything. But us as a youth, at a certain point, we have been too reluctant. You can have an idea, you go there, you just sit on your idea. Okay, instead of implementing your idea, you go on social media, make silly comments, you insult elder people. So I think as youths, we have not done much to make sure that our voices are heard.
Okay, so just coming back to your position as Northern Technical President, we see NOTEC as one of those colleges that bring about innovations, various innovations. Do you think there are youths out there who are doing their best so that their innovations are seen, are made known to the president, or just a new Dawn government?
Okay, so there are a number of youths with brilliant ideas, a number of youths who have come up with good projects. Okay, as NOTEC being an engineering school, before you complete school, in your third year, you have to present a project. Okay, so I've seen a number of people presenting their projects, and where do those projects go afterwards? Nowhere.
Okay, just looking at on the part for Zambia Association, and you say that this is a platform which other colleges are united, where they can express themselves, challenges that they are looking at. Do you feel like this platform is helping them to also express themselves in terms of some of the innovations that they have?
Yeah, so Zambia Association of Colleges, we have a part, or maybe a department that deals with innovations. Okay, yeah. But again, as us being an association, we also need funds. We also need funds to make sure that these projects are implemented. These students are reached out to. We need funds. Okay, that's why at this moment we are trying by all means to collaborate with different partners, the government, different private companies. And I've seen a number of companies coming on board. In a number of occasions, I've seen Trade Kings coming to help us as an association.
Okay, so maybe you would want to give a word of encouragement to someone who says that maybe they've tried their level best in terms of their innovations to be known there, but no avail. What's your encouragement to that person? Okay,
so when you look at our country's setup, okay, it's all dependent on yourself. Okay. If you want to make it big, it depends on yourself. Okay, so if you wait on the government to help you, if you wait on someone to come and help you to say, for you to put this idea into reality, you need to do this and this, then you're on a wrong path. You need to rise above your principles. Take it upon yourself as a human being, as a youth. If you want your voices to be heard, if you want your projects to reach the world, yeah.
Okay, so maybe we can just give an encouragement to some of the youths there that fail to express themselves in issues that are affecting them, and maybe how they would want to be helped.
Okay, so to youths out there who face a number of challenges and who feel they are not heard, the most important thing that you need to understand as youths is it all starts from you. Okay, so I've seen a number of people going very far in life through social media, and these days each and every youth, they have a smartphone. You can start from there. Use social media wisely. So take it upon yourself. Before you go out to these government offices to ask for funding, for help, take it upon yourself. Use anything. Start from where you are.
Okay, so we've heard it from the president of NOTEC, and for me it has been exciting talking to him, just getting some of the ideas on what kind of platforms youth should use so that their voices are amplified and their innovations ignited. This has been Shaolin Mutinta and
Akimarambo.
This is all we had for you for this year's commemoration in Dola on the Copperbelt. I have been your host, Macha Mwemba. Bye.